What is going on, guys? Welcome back. What's up? Let's do this again. Welcome back to this episode of the Road to Redemption podcast. I am, as always, your grateful host, Cam Williamson. Today, we are coming live. I hope everything is working well. I hope you guys can hear me well. I hope that you guys are having a good day. Today is interesting because I already recorded an entire episode of today's podcast and it failed. Something technically went wrong. I don't know why. I don't know how. I'm not worried about it. But today, what I am going to do is I'm going to recap what I talked about on the episode, and then we're going to get into some live daily events, the current events of the day. As you guys can see, I have it pulled up here. I am going to do my best to try to figure out how to navigate this. I'm still new at the live, so I'll be switching back and forth to see some of your guys' live comments if you're hanging out with me. If not, I hope you'll check it out on the replay. Do me a quick favor before we get into it. Hit the thumbs up button. That lets everybody on YouTube know that you like the Road to Redemption podcast, you like what we're doing here. If you like it, which I hope you do, subscribe, hit the subscribe button. If you want to see it as soon as we drop it, or you want to be notified about live events like this one, hit the bell. You can hit personalized, let you know whether you want to see every time I go live or every time I drop anything, or you can hit all. It'll tell you every time we do anything. All right, today's topic today. I don't know why I always get nervous. Anytime we do the live feeds, I get nervous. Today's topic was patience. I have been trying to master the art of patience the last week. Why? Growing up, I was not a very patient kid. I didn't do well at impulse control. I was always raised in a way that I didn't have to. Growing up, I look back now, the way that I ate, the way that my diet, the decisions that I made. When you grow up a latchkey kid like myself, you don't have to control your impulses, because if it's Halloween, if it's Easter, if it's whatever, if your parents just went to the grocery store and they were at work, you could just make whatever. You could have 2 pizzas, a bag of Fritos, some candy, drink 3 sodas. It's all these things that now as an adult, as science and as medical technology goes forward, we're realizing our mental health suffers so much because of the way that we eat and the way that we've eaten in our past and the way that our hormones are reacting, right? That has a direct connection to our mental health. So as far as patience goes, I've always been one, especially at night. I fancy myself a sugar fiend. I like sour candy, always have. So at the end of the night, it's hard for me not to grab a bag of something sour, rip it open, and kill the entire bag. When it comes to why do we do this, why is it hard to have patience in life, why is it hard to control our impulses, I come from recovery, alcoholism, where I subconsciously learned when things get hard, an easy fix is also a quick one. Beer, shots, things like that are quick fixes to where you don't have to be patient. You don't have to sit and feel anything. You don't have to contemplate anything. You're starting to lower the inhibitions of who you know yourself to be and the boundaries you set and the things you're willing to put up with and not put up with. You're beginning to shed those away. If it's not substances, sometimes it's just getting on our phone and scrolling. I've been trying to focus recently on dopamine fasting. I'm not on any sort of dopamine fasting program or anything, but I listen to experts in the field from neuroscientists like Andrew Huberman, and he points out how important the first hour of your morning is. And I know for myself, it's been my routine for a very long time to wake up and the first thing I do is check my phone. Even though I have my circadian rhythm down to a point, I know that I'm going to wake up somewhere between 3:30 and 4:30 in the morning. When my eyes open, I usually know, it's about 4:30. So I get up and I'm used to immediately check my phone. And I have a process that I go through. Email, Instagram, TikTok, And it's kind of gone to the things that are going to require less of my attention. Let me get those out of the way. Emails don't usually take a lot of time. Instagram, it's kind of a dead platform. But then I get into TikTok. Facebook Reels have been big on engagement recently. And then YouTube comments usually take up a good portion of time if I'm willing to give it. And I realized I was starting my day off looking for all this gratification. How did this post do last night? Are people reaching out business wise? And I'm looking for all this. Who am I to start my day? And there was no stopping of it. It was just a habit. It was just a thing that I did. And then I heard Andrew Huberman talk about, look at the first hour of your day and look at how that's forming your thoughts for the day. So if you don't get on the phone, if you don't start looking at analytics and responding to whatever people said about your last piece of content, you just sit, right? And that's the other thing. You don't consume stimulants, so you don't take in coffee, you don't take in anything, and you just sit and you just observe your thoughts. And you look, for me, I feel this immense, almost external pull coming where it's like, hey, what am I doing? I'm just sitting here. I need to get up. I need to start my coffee. I need to figure out, what time is my kid going to get up? Am I going to get up to my walk on time so that way I can be here to the studio? And it's like all these checklist things that you put on yourself. For you guys, it's, probably get up, get the kids up, do whatever. You have your whole list to do. But if you give yourself an hour to just sit where you're not listening to a podcast, you're not listening to a song, you're not reading an audiobook, you're just sitting, not watching TV, not talking to anyone. You watch the wheel of your mind start, and it's been said that the thoughts that you had yesterday will be the same thoughts you have today and tomorrow and whatever if you don't stop them, if you don't change them by direct action. So you watch, and all those thoughts start coming up. Oh, I need to get on my phone. I need to look at this. I need to make coffee. And it's like your brain is just telling you, I want. And you're like, I wonder now why it's been so hard to control these impulses. There's all these subconscious things pulling at my attention from me, and I've put them in my own life. My phone, what people think of my show, when can I get my coffee, when can I post about my coffee, it's all this stuff that doesn't really exist. Nobody cares at the end of the day. Nobody gives a fuck what time the show goes up. Nobody cares what day it goes up. Nobody really gives a fuck. Everybody else has a life that's constantly going on. And if you look, when we get into these moments where we feel rushed by life, we feel so impatient, oftentimes we've gotten ourselves out of whack. We've spent more time on our phone. We've spent more time consuming coffee. We've spent more time buying things frivolously online. We've spent more time avoiding the people in our life, avoiding our emotions. I noticed the past week, my daughter, my youngest, is 3. And her biggest thing is she says, I'm 7. Dad, I'm 7. Now, she really doesn't have a concept of age or what she can do at a different age, but she understands that she's 3. All her kids in her class are having birthdays right now, and because school is going back into session, kids are starting to move around classrooms. Kids that are getting older and about to go into kindergarten, they're going to a different one, and kids her age are staying there for just a little bit longer, and she's seeing that these kids are going to get to go to this room. It's a room that she's visited a few times, and she knows that it's bigger. It has a few more toys that are a little more advanced, and now she's curious about what it takes to get in that room. Well, now she's understanding it takes age. She doesn't have to be 7 to be in that room, but something has connected in her subconscious about, I need to be 7. And I tried to explain to her, I said, baby girl, you're not 7, you're 3. You're going to be 3 until we learn things like potty training, proper eating skills, manners, and then guess what? By the time we learn those things, you're going to be 4. And then by the time you've mastered those things, we're going to learn different things like reading and putting whole sentences together and manners and things like that. Proper manners, stepping it up a notch. And then you'll be 5. And there's a process to life where I remember for 90s kids, that's all I can really speak to. Our thing was always I wanted to be old enough for freedom. I always wanted to be old enough to stay out later. I wanted to be old enough to drive. I wanted to be old enough to stay out past my original curfew of a younger age. I wanted to be old enough to get married. I wanted to be old enough to buy my own place. I always wanted to be older. And now I sit back in my life as I rush to want my podcast to look a certain way, or I want my kids to be old enough to do certain activities or whatever. I go, I've spent so much of my life wanting something else, wanting the next step. I wanted, like many of us, just wanting more. I wanted, what can I get today? What can I experience? That's the biggest one. How can I heighten this experience of life? And I think if you allow yourself to truly sit and ask, why do I want a bigger paying job? Why do I want a more esteemed career? Why do I want to be an author? Why do I want to be a podcast host? Why do I search so desperately to be a good parent that looks this certain way? Because by the time my kid is this, they're going to be acting this way. And again, we have all these external ideas that don't really apply, that are constantly pushing us forward and pushing us and pulling us forward even. So it's a push and pull that you just can't seem to get away from. And then you look and you go, fucking Christ, why am I not happy? And I found myself asking that so often in the last year. Why the fuck am I not happy? I have a great relationship with my youngest daughter. I'm working my fucking ass off doing something I love. Why the fuck am I not happy? You ungrateful bastard. And then I looked and I'm like, well, I'm not doing any kind of gratitude practice. I used to. I used to value it a lot. So I started that again. And all this has only come because I've started taking this time to shut everything the fuck down early in my day. And then, once that time is done, my kid wakes up, I get her ready for school, I take her there, I go on my walk. My nature walk is super important. I listen to music. Sometimes I have that be an extended period of quiet time. But it's all this time that I can look now and go, what is urgent? I'm in a great position where I don't work for anybody. I don't have to go to an office, be anywhere by a certain time. I'm not raising my kids to be like, look how much money your dad can make. Watch this today. And then I come back and be like, dad closed a big one. I'm not raising them to be that way. So why am I still carrying this immense pressure to constantly chase and constantly improve situations that, sure, we can work and we can do our best at whatever we choose to put in our calendars for the day, and we can do our absolute best and we can reap the rewards for that. But when did what was right in front of us stop being good enough? Over the last 3 years that my youngest daughter's been alive, I'm so much more conscious every time I pick up my phone going, what am I trying to avoid that's right in front of me right now? Because my daughter, sure, sometimes it's her stressing me the fuck out that I've engaged hard all day, and that's not easy. I'm not some parental saint where it's the pride and joy of my day to be on my hands and knees playing blocks or rolling around on the ground. I'm getting older, and shit hurts, and it's frustrating, and I get bored and stuff like that. But I do my best to go, my life is about being led in love, and I want to love my daughter the most I can, and that's engaging with her in my full heart, being silly, being playful, showing her that I'm not going to be perfect, I'm going to mess up, I'm going to make mistakes, and I'm going to be a real person that hopefully can help you, guide you through life, but I'm not going to be perfect. So I don't need to be perfect today. I just need to be there for you, and I need to be the best that I can be. And it takes all this fucking pressure off. And then again, it's less time engaged on social media, so it's less time spent comparing yourself to others. It's less time wondering why do others have things I don't have? Why are others happier than I am? When you get the time to walk in nature and you go, nature doesn't care about happy. Nature just is. Right? And that's, we are an extension. We are nature. We're connected to it in every way. We breathe because the trees provide oxygen for us. And we're connected in so many different ways that we choose to ignore. And Therefore, we choose to ignore so many things to be grateful for, which is why it becomes easy. If you have your nose in a phone that's constantly telling you you don't have the newest trendy thing, or you're missing out on this new product that's blowing everyone's mind, or the most viral video with the trending topic of the day, and it's like, it's not really that important. There's going to be a new one tomorrow. So if you prioritize your day doing whatever the fuck you want to do, and you give your social media time, an allotted amount of time, say 2 hours a day, and you go, I'm going to allow myself to scroll aimlessly for 2 hours, and I'm going to get everything I can get out of that in that time, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to do this next thing. And you plan that out, and you go, and I'm going to be fully engaged in that, and anything on my phone would have to be an emergency. Oh, well, things start to slow down. The fear of missing out starts to go away because I'm not missing out on anything. I'm present here. If I'm needed in an emergency or something life-changing is happening, I'll know. Someone will tell me. But this constant need to look and see and peek and peer behind a curtain that's not there, of what's the next thing that's going to pull you out of this dread of your current situation, just by learning to not feed every desire that your thoughts give you. That's, oh, we want coffee, we want sugar, we want something salty, we want this, we want that, we want this, we want that. Turn this song on, that's not good enough, and you sit there and skip songs a million times until one clicks in your brain that goes, oh, that feels good. That's a good dopamine hit. That's what our mood wants right now. Okay, cool. And then you listen to 45 seconds of that shit next. And that's what I found myself doing. I couldn't even finish a song because it wasn't rapid fire enough. And I'm like, yo, there's a problem here. There's a problem. I can't sit and just be. And then I'm wondering, why am I so unhappy in life? Well, you're disregarding everything you've created. Everything you've built in your life, everything you have, the bed you sleep in, even if it's a couch you sleep on. Somehow you got that. You acquired that. You acquired a relationship that allowed you to have that. If you're not incarcerated currently, you have the ability to go walk outside. And I emphasize this so much, but I'll tell you guys a story. I was wondering for like the last 3 days, why do I keep taking these nature walks? I'm a healthy guy. I would actually like to put on some weight. I could probably chill with all the cardio. And, on Saturday, I went to take my normal walk, which is 1.25 miles times 2 is 2.5 miles. Well, this time I walked to the very end of the trail, which is 2.6 miles, so it was like 5.2 miles at the end of everything. On the day when I had been questioning 2 days prior, why am I even doing this at all? I walked further. And on that walk, I was debating, should this be a quiet time? Should this be time that I listen to music? And I was turning music off and I was turning it back on. I would turn a book on and I would turn it off. And I was like, I can't even make a fucking decision. Nobody's making me do anything right now, and I can't make a decision. Turn everything off and just fucking walk. So I started walking, and I'm asking again, why am I doing this? Why am I walking? And now why am I walking so fucking far? And, the thought starts going in my head. Remember, every place you go to, you have to come back from. There's no exit points on this trail. So anywhere you go, you have to come back. So the further you get yourself in, you got to go back. But every step, I just kept walking and walking and walking. All of a sudden, I'm mad at myself, right? Because I'm walking and I'm mad and I don't know why. And the breeze comes in and I smell, I don't know what you call them. I always call them baby's breath trees or whatever, but it's a distinct smell. It's a white flower that grows on a tree. I didn't see the flower, but I smelled it. And my mind was taken back to a morning when I was like 9 years old. It was the first day of school. My eyes had just opened. Sun was coming through my window perfectly. My mom had come in minutes prior and opened the windows, drew the curtains, says, hey, good morning, it's your first day of school, it's going to be a good day. And that smell of baby's breath, we had them growing in the front yard. I was back in that moment. And I was like, oh my God, that's one of the happiest moments of my life. I remember that moment. I remember how happy I was that I was waking up that day to go to school and see my friends in my new clothes that I could just be happy in. Fuck. And I was like, yo, I had so many dreams that day. I was going to be a pro skateboarder, a rock star. I was going to play football in high school. Yo, fucking Christ. And I was so wholeheartedly in this moment, in my own mind, because of a scent while I was walking. And I go, nothing else could have given me that. So I walk and I'm trying my best to just stay in this moment. Thank God the breeze kept coming. The smell kept coming. I could smell my mom cooking breakfast, downstairs, and like I'm in it. And I started to fucking cry with the biggest smile on my face going, oh my God. When you connect to nature, nature can give you what all these external stimuli can't, right? You get on TikTok, you get on Instagram, and you're scrolling. What can that give you? It can give you visual, it can give you auditory. Those are great, but it can't give you a smell that brings you back to a time that you can truly live in for a moment and go, oh my God, did I just remember what it's like to be happy as a kid? Did I remember for a moment how simple life can be? And how is that when you're back in the mind of your 9-year-old self and you're looking around? You're excited to have breakfast with your family on the first day of school. It didn't matter what happened any other day. You were excited to wear that first day of school outfit. I was. I'm seeing the sun come through my childhood bedroom window. My mom had just done my room up the weekend prior because, again, we were big in my family on fresh starts. If you had gotten in trouble over the summertime, the first day of school, hey, you're not grounded anymore. This is a big thing. My mom always tried to be like, fresh starts are important. This is a new year. This is a new school year. Positive. Fucking endless opportunities. And at 30 years old, I could tap back into that moment because I decided to take a walk that I didn't know why I was taking it. And I was willing to argue with myself and go, what the fuck, man? Like, we just keep doing all these things. And then you remember, it's like, yo, that's what life is. Life is just about doing things, having experiences, going places, chasing a day, figuring out what is my mind going to send me today? What am I going to feel passionately about investing in? Which ones will I act on? Which ones will I not? But becoming the conscious awareness of, I'm having an urge to do this thing. Walk. Keep walking when I know I need to go home and work or write my book or do whatever. It's like, nah, today you need to walk. Start to listen to whichever voice isn't screaming at you, but the one that's guiding you. You just keep walking, right? I'm not, internally, I wasn't yelling at myself to walk. I was yelling at myself in the confusion that I didn't understand. Why am I doing this? This seems pointless. What the fuck? Ego, and then just what is. Just walk. For today, walk. And then that moment happened and I had no question. And today, I didn't walk as far. I did my normal walk and it was fine and whatever. But there was no magical moment. There was no anything like that. And then today, I come in and I go, patience is the word of the day. Surrender has been the thing, but patience and surrender do go hand in hand. But with patience, just like with surrender, it's always seen as a negative thing. Be patient. You have to wait for what you want. all great things take time, stuff like that. We look at it as a very negative thing, but it's only negative when you don't have control over managing your patients, which means you don't have control over managing your internal reactions to external situations around you. If you stay tapped in and in tune with what's going on in here, with the parallels that be inside, then you really don't have this sense of impatience anymore, where you feel rushed to do everything because you always know exactly what you're doing. You release the need to know why you're doing it, because when you're just wholeheartedly in a moment doing something, you're not really questioning why. Like a kid who's going to school for the first day. You don't wonder, why am I starting the 6th grade today? What is that in the great scheme of life? Because you're not going to understand. You have your own ideas of what the first day of 6th grade means. It means seeing my girlfriend at school. It means showing up and I'm going to have the fucking chains on my pants. God damn it. I'm going to be cool. Fucking hell, it's unlimited. I can do anything. I'm in intermediate school now. I'm one step closer to high school, motherfucker. You can't stop me. Got my hair bleached. I'm fucking ready. I'm the real Slim Shady in this motherfucker. But again, you cannot get back to those places of, oh my God, that's who I am. No one made me that. There was no inspiration of other people telling me what I was going to be. That was raw passion, emotion, excitement, because you had no fucking idea. And with that, let's get to some current events. I'm going to check in with the comments and all that real quick. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. It's been fun for me. Hopefully everything's... Andrea says, good morning. Impulse and patience issue, a part of my bipolar. Yes, mine as well. I'm that girl. Storm just hit, so my internet will go out. That's no good. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you got to hang out with us for a little bit. We are going to jump into now the current trends of the day. It sounds like you guys can hear me well, so that's good. Let's get into it. All right. David Warner. Let's see who this is. I knew a few David Warners in my life. I think they were David Warner the third, the second. No, there was a second, and then the other one was. Oh, I'm not gonna put his whole name out there, but yeah, I knew a few. David Warner, who played villains in Titanic, Tron, dies at 80. Okay, NBC News. Let's see what they got for us. David Warner, Titanic. Do you guys recognize that guy? See, sometimes when I have these like screen capture things on, it'll block out a lot of the page. Okay, what's this? David Warner of the Royal Shakespeare Company tries on a crown in his dressing room in 1964. Okay, not a big story. I don't know who he is. Rest in peace. He's seen there with Leo. Let's see. So again, this is what I look at when I'm looking at what the world cares about. 100,000 searches. That's, in hindsight, that's not a ton. Joni Mitchell. I've been seeing this all over the place. As soon as I saw that Joni Mitchell surprises everyone with a new set, first off, I go, hech, because she joined into the team of Neil Young against Joe Rogan. I know nothing about this situation. Let's see if I'm able to pull up. I try to be careful of who I give clicks to. So let's see. Billboard is fine. And hopefully you guys can see all this. Joni Mitchell wasn't sure her surprise Newport Folk Festival set would go, but I didn't sound too bad. Okay, so Joni Mitchell, very old. I didn't even know she was that old. Holy shit. Sitting in a, what seems to be royal chair of some sort. And yeah, so there's not going to be a video that we can see or that's going to load fast enough. It would be dope. No? No video? I bet if we were on like TMZ or something. Oh, here we go. Joni Mitchell performs well. Then I'm going to get copywritten. So you guys see it. If you guys... I could give a fuck, to be honest, about Joni Mitchell. I don't care. So there's that. Jaylen Brown. I don't care about basketball, so we're going to skip that one. Daniel Vogelback seems to be baseball. Don't care about that. Breaking. Shots fired at Dallas Love Field. Okay, so breaking. Shots fired. Let's see what's going on. I didn't pay attention to who I just gave clicks to on this one. Shots fired at Dallas Love Field. Female shooter wounded by police. You don't see the female shooters often. Outbound delays expected. Okay. All right. So we know almost nothing about that. Let's go back and check a more reputable source here. I'm going to check in while I want to see how we're looking. Good. Everything still checking out. Yep, looks like you guys can see everything. Good deal. Let's go back. Dallas Love Field. Let's find a more reputable. That doesn't sound good. The New York Times, they don't let you read shit if you don't pay for it. Officer shoots woman who fired gun at Dallas Love Field Airport. Yo, what the fuck with the guns? Dallas police say a 37-year-old woman fired a handgun at the airport and was shot and arrested by police. So she was shot, doesn't say she was killed. A woman fired shots inside Dallas Love Field Airport. Oh, come on with the pop-ups, would you? Fuck off. Come on, get out of here. On Monday, sending air travelers scrambling and leading to an evacuation of the terminal, a police officer shot and wounded the suspect, authorities said, and no one else was injured. She shut that shit down. Dallas Police Chief, I'm not going to try the name, said 37-year-old woman fired the handgun and was shot by police in lower extremities. Okay, so we got a 37-year-old female firing a shot, a random shot. Didn't say where. And police in the area were able to shoot her in the lower extremities. We call that a disabling shot in law enforcement. That is meant to disable, not kill, not to use lethal force. You can articulate, I shot there on purpose to drop them, depending on the caliber handgun, or just by being shot in the leg. Most times you will drop at least to one side. The woman was dropped off. Interesting terminology after that. The woman was dropped off about 11 a.m. near the Southwest Airlines. There you go, guys. Don't fly Southwest right now. Ticket counter, then went into a restroom to change clothes before re-emerging, Garcia said. She produces a handgun and begins firing. Okay, so begins firing would imply multiple shots. At this point, we don't know where exactly the individual was aiming. The most that we're seeing now, she was aiming at the ceiling, firing shots in the air. That was my first thought. So this seems almost like a attempt by suicide by law enforcement situation to me. Noting earlier information could change. An officer who was nearby shot the woman. Police said she was taken into custody and being treated at Parkland Hospital. Police said several rounds were fired. The Dallas Police Department tweeted out, PIO is en route to Dallas Love Field Airport in response to reports of shots being fired. Follow our Twitter for updates. Nice little tag there. Yikes. No possible impossible motive. Well, let's keep reading. Kara Charlton, 20, said she was standing in line Monday at Southwest ticket counter while trying to book a flight after 2 earlier flights were canceled. A woman was behind her when the employee at the ticket counter told Charlton is her name, she was in the wrong line, she said. Charlton said she moved to a different ticket window about 30 feet away when the woman who had been behind her began to yell, I'm going to shoot. Shatter? What the fuck? This name keeps changing, or it's changing in my head. With my dyslexic ass, I'm not really dyslexic. I'm just not reading this right. Shatterin recalled her by saying, I have a gun. After that, she said a shot rang out. Shatterin said she wasn't sure whether it came from the woman or security reacting to this situation, but then more shots were fired. So, by the way all this is articulated, I'm guessing the suspect shot multiple rounds into the air. I'm guessing police fired one disabling round. After that, she said a shot rang out. Charlton said she wasn't sure. Oh, we read that. Everyone around her got down or ran. Hey, run. Charlton was among those who fled. As she ran, she tripped and scraped her hip. Okay. She found a worker in a vest and followed the employee into a bus in a waiting area outside the terminal. I'm interested at what the active shooter protocol is in an airport. We hear about it in schools. I'm curious if there is one for an airport. There's so much going on. There's so many logistical gears moving at one time. How the fuck do you shut that down all in one moment and turn everyone's attention to fucking hell, we got to get out of here or whatever? It's interesting. They were the only people on the bus as they yelled to the driver that a shooting had occurred inside and to just go, she said. By 12:40 p.m., Shatter of Santa Barbara, California, was in the car on the way to stay with relatives in Tulsa. Flights were suspended Monday afternoon during the Dallas police. Okay, we get it. Yeah, that sounds like an attempt at suicide by law enforcement to me, because she wasn't shooting at anyone. It sounds like she had plenty of access if she wanted to hurt people. Definitely could have. Yeah. And she didn't die, so they were pretty gracious in that one. Which means that I'm guessing there was some articulation going down of fucking shoot me. And, that's a good trained law enforcement officer will see that all day long. XFL names Arlington Hub City ahead of 2023 launch. I could give a damn. So, guys, that's going to go ahead and be the episode for us today. It's been a lot of fun. I hope it all worked well for us. If you liked it, check out our future live streams. Hopefully, we'll be doing more ones like this, and they'll keep getting more and more seamless. We'll also continue to do our regular uploads. I'm only doing this on a Monday because, like I said, I had such technical issues with my other one, with the actual episode I went to record. I figured, hey, I want to stay on the schedule. I want to give you guys a show on Monday. But if I do these lives, it'll probably be early on Tuesdays or Thursdays, and anytime I could maybe get one on a weekend, I'll try to do that. But I want to start doing these more. I've got everything set up. I think it's working well. I hope you know how much I love you, and I will see you guys in the next one.